Coach Brewski, can you hear us right now?
Yes, how are you?
Oh, nice. Let's go. Okay, so right now the usual host, Dominic Damiano, is actually out, and our other co-host, Lucy Cabral, is going to be joining us in a minute. But this is Joseph Verns, who's been talking to you a good amount. I am running the board today. I'll be hosting this interview, it looks like. I'm also with Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, and Justin Ferreira, also known as the Sportsmaster.
Great. Hi, everyone.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, Coach Brewski.
Good.
So yeah, for those who want some insight, Coach Brewski was actually a head coach at, I believe, Walpole High School. Is that true, Coach Brewski?
That is a million years ago, yes.
Yeah, but now she is Bishop Fiennes volleyball leading head coach. She took over the job after one of the previous ones had to be let go. She, in her first season, as I mentioned, led them to an undefeated record, showing just how good of a leader she is for the team. So we're going to start this interview off right away, Coach Brewski. My question for you is, I noticed you played both volleyball and softball at a very high level in college, so I wanted to ask you how balancing such a rigorous schedule for 4 years has affected the way you go about your adult life.
Yes. It's funny. We talk a lot at FIAN about the lessons that we're trying to teach are life lessons. They're not just volleyball lessons. There's a lot more that goes into coaching at this level. And I'd most definitely like to teach them things that they can use going forward in their lives. And playing two sports at the D1 level is definitely challenging, to say the least. And I learned a lot of time management skills there, and I learned about committing to the team, accountability, responsibility for self, but just a real valuable experience in shaping who I am and the way that I coach the girls.
Yeah, Coach, I can't imagine you don't bring that resilience and just have that hard work in every aspect of your life, showing obviously from the success that you had immediately. Right now we have Lucy Cabral joining us. She is finally in the studio now. She had to take a little break, but she's back.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. We just started the live stream over there.
Okay.
We had to reset it. You need to put your microphone up.
Turn the microphone up?
Yep,
Okay.
yours.
There we go. That better?
It's way too low.
Yeah, did not realize how low that was. It is a little bit loud in the earbuds, so need to just reset that, but we're all good now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Coach Bruce, sorry about those technical difficulties to start the show. Usually there's Dominic Damiano to help set that up. As I mentioned, he's coaching his nephew's football team actually right now.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, he's trying to roll in your shoes for a day, it seems like, except it's not volleyball, it's football.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, Justin or Casey, or do you guys want to give a question to Coach Brewski?
Yes. My first question for you, Coach Brewski, is what got you interested into volleyball?
Oh, it was definitely my older sister. My older sister, 5 years older than me, and I was, like many of the younger siblings, toted around to all of her events and athletics. And so I watched her play at a high level in high school. She was the setter for the high school team, very competitive. Went on to play 4 years at Drake University, where she was All-American. But, you know, growing up watching her and going to all of her games, I wanted to be on the court. So I was the water girl for her team for many years, and then a bit of a gym rat. And so, you know, playing against the wall as much as I could. I got a lot of touches in at a young age. So I started at age 10 and then played on my first team at age 12. So lots of experience.
Yeah, it's just been lifelong. That's actually pretty impressive. Okay, yeah, Lucy or Casey, you guys want to have any questions for Coach Brewski next?
Actually, yes. I'm sorry I missed the first 5 minutes, Heidi, but
That's okay.
I was doing a little bit of research, and you are the head volleyball coach at Bishop Fiennes?
Yes, Bishop
Lady
Fiennes,
Shamrocks. Okay. So you were also the volunteer assistant coach for 5 seasons, right?
Closer to 7, yeah.
Holy smokes. And it does say that you had trained countless athletes through private lessons. Private lessons, and you have 3 boys?
Yeah. No, when I did coach for Walpole years ago, that was pre-children, and so I was there right out of college, and it was a great experience. And then I stayed home with my boys for close to 18 years, and of course, I missed the sport. It was such a huge part of my life growing up,
Right.
and it was really doing the private lessons was a no-brainer. It was something I did on the side. In fact, I'd bring my boys with me. They'd help me set up the net, and they've been a few gym rats themselves, and they love the sport as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so I'm assuming they know how to play volleyball as well, aside from football.
They do. Yeah. It translates. My oldest son, TJ, is a basketball player, and that was his true love, and so it translates. You just jump up and hit the ball at its highest point, and he had a lot of success there. Unfortunately, we do not yet have a boys program at FIAN, but we're working on that.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, which would be great,
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, Coach Bruschi, I didn't know that either. Are they actually really thinking about implementing a boys volleyball program at FIAN?
They're working on it. Yeah, I think it would be starting as a club program in the spring, which is typically when the boys play. But there's a lot of teams across New England, and I think that, especially knowing my two older boys that went through FIAN as athletes, they would have loved to have played.
Yeah, that's awesome. I never heard that they were even thinking about implementing that. That will help a lot of kids for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Bruschi, you might not know, but I actually starred at Bishop FIAN the final year that your oldest son, TJ, I believe, was a senior, actually.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I've met all three of your sons, actually. It's pretty funny to think about. I was talking to Dante yesterday after the game.
That's great, yeah. No, FIAN's such a great place.
Yeah, no, it's really awesome. It's a great school. Yeah, no, Coach Bruschi, I believe our first break is coming up right now, so could we just keep you on hold for a couple minutes and then come back?
Sure, no problem.
Nice, okay. Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Welcome back to 40 Sports Talk. We are interviewing Coach Heidi Bruschi from Bishop FIAN. She is the volleyball coach for Bishop FIAN. Are you still there, Coach Bruschi?
Yes.
Okay, nice. This interview is going great so far, so I'm going to start off with another question as we return from that break. So I saw that in high school you were a varsity volleyball team player since freshman year. You were also a three-time captain. You were awarded the Arizona Player of the Year award. How would you say playing at such a high level has altered your approach to coaching compared to most coaches who don't have such an extensive background?
Well, I think I have, like we talked about, I have a lot of experience with many different teams, and I've found that each team is different, and I know what it's like to play on a girls' team. And yes, at a high level, things are different than the level that I'm coaching at, and so I've found tempering expectations, right? Not all the girls that I coach at Bishop Ian are going to go on and play D1 sports. I have to realize that, recognize that, and tailor my approach to the talent that we have.
Yeah, Coach, I was actually going to follow up that question asking you how it helped you connect to the players who were going D1, but you brought up the fact about how it helps you connect to the players who aren't going D1. That actually makes a lot more sense to me because you realize what they're going through. Even though you had that D1 experience, you can understand the type of feeling that's going through their minds as they try to chase after that dream in college, for sure.
Yeah. We have one of the things I love about FIAN and about the groups that I've coached so far is these kids, they value relationships. And I, especially after having 3 sons, I know that girls are absolutely need to connect with one another before they can battle together. And I think that's just the opposite with males. I have found that with males and the way they play sports, they have to battle first and connect later. And I think that's interesting. But having that experience of knowing what it's like to be a part of a team and holding and valuing the relationships above all else. And I really love that about this team that I'm coaching right now.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, Coach Brucey. I never really thought about it until you just said it, but it makes perfect sense. It is really true that guys will just build a relationship through what they do on the field, but for girls it makes a lot more sense that they have to build it in the locker room right before the game.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
very, very important.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah. So Coach, how do you get your team ready for each game?
So, this year actually, and I've told you every team is different, but this year we have a really young team. We only have 5 players with varsity experience returning, and 4 of them are senior captains.
Wow.
Yeah, we're really young, and we have some contributors. We have 3 sophomores who are contributing right now in big roles. And so that's where we have to have small, manageable goals for each game and for each practice, and we just have to chip away at those. We have to worry about the process and not the outcome. And so that's where we're at right now, just trying to build.
Yeah, Coach, last season you didn't really have as big of a chance because of the COVID-19 protocols, but I feel like this season you really had a much bigger opportunity to connect with your team because you actually had those summer activities that would let the team connect and just build a relationship together. I wanted to ask you how the difference that has been visible to your eyes throughout this year and last year in team building.
Yeah, no, super important to have an off season with the girls, and we had such a great turnout in the spring. We did an entire off-season training program with the girls all through the spring, and it was well attended. And getting that commitment from your athletes year-round is difficult, especially in a school like FIAN, where a lot of the best athletes play more than one sport, which I absolutely value and appreciate. So. But we had a great turnout in our spring program, which I really think builds from the ground up, getting stronger, volleyball-specific workouts. And we also took the time in the spring to do a leadership program with the girls, which I think is paying dividends now.
Yeah, no, especially when you have such a young team, as you mentioned, those leadership roles, just getting taught to them early is very important. I agree with that. That's smart for sure.
Yeah.
Coach, I was wondering, this is Lucy, by the way.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi. I was wondering how you have 4 or 5 captains?
We have 4 captains this year.
Wow, all seniors.
Yeah, all seniors. So the funny thing about that is 3 of them were voted captain back in the spring at the end of our off-season workouts. And just yesterday, I named a 4th captain, Annabella Alyakub. So now we have our 4 seniors all leading this program, hopefully in one direction.
That's great, Coach. I actually know Bella personally. That's really cool. I didn't know she was actually becoming a captain.
Yep, that happened yesterday at practice, and it was very well-deserved and well-received. Bella has a great relationship with her teammates, and when you spend the time to get to know them on a personal level, just makes things a lot easier on the court.
Yeah, that's awesome to see because there's a good amount of times when coaches will preach about how they want that type of stuff throughout their team, but will give no reward to show how much they really appreciate that. But you naming her captain just because of what you saw out there is really a good way to do it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, it's funny. Right as soon as I made the announcement, right, the girls are going crazy and jumping on her and high-fiving her. So, immediately well received, very well received.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great. Coach, has the season started? I think, is your first game like next week?
No, they had 4 games.
They had 4 games already.
Yeah.
We're
Okay, I
actually
must
6
have-
games in. We're
6
six
games.
games
6
in, and
games.
we're 3-3 right now.
You're
Yeah.
3
Oh,
and 3.
okay.
Okay, just wasn't sure. And so, did you? I must have been looking at Noel's schedule because I was looking at upcoming games.
Yeah, Lucy, I saw that same exact schedule.
You did?
I had to
St.
reconfirm it.
Mary's
Yeah.
and then Bishop Fenwick. And
Yeah, but no, they are 6 games in. 3
okay,
3 and 3 is a
4,
good
5,
record to
6.
start off with,
Yeah,
honestly.
it is. So
I agree.
when is your next game?
We play next Tuesday. We travel to St. Mary's,
Okay.
which
on the
we've not been
20th,
there
I got
before,
it
so
right.
that's going to be new for us.
Huh. And
We
so,
didn't play there last year.
okay, how about Bishop Fenwick? And I know Walpole
Yep, we
is.
play there next Thursday and Walpole on Friday. Yep, those are our next 3 games.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, Coach, you're going to need to get some revenge for the football team against St. Mary's.
Oh, yeah, I know. That was a tough one. Oh,
Yeah, that was a little rough
they
to
had
watch.
some
But
good athletes.
yeah, their team was actually really good. The crazy thing, though, Fian started 2-0 for the first time in a long time. That was great to see for sure. But no, it's awesome to see the volleyball team doing so good, too. It's really nice having such strong programs throughout the entire school. It really brings the community together so much more.
It does, and I'm loving seeing the student body just engage the way that they are this year, especially coming off of a year where you were all so separated, and this is just so nice to see. We had a game last week versus Cardinal Spellman, and as soon as the football practice let out, the whole team poured into the gym to cheer on the girls, and it was just such a great camaraderie.
Oh, that's
between the student
awesome.
body.
But
Yeah,
great
it was
support.
really
That's
fun.
awesome. So the school spirit is there.
Yes,
Coach, there's a
yes.
few pictures that came out from when those football players were at the game, and they sat down. They started doing I think it was the bobsled team. They all lined up as a
It was.
bobsled team.
Oh.
It was hilarious. They had more fun. It was a blast. I wish that we could have delivered. That's a team that we'll hope to see again, Cardinal Spellman, but they were tough. We ended up losing that game, but the boys were just great.
Yeah, Coach, I can guarantee that's not going to be the last time the crowd's freaking out like that. We're going to get hyped
Yeah.
in there for sure.
Yeah.
So I take it, Jill, you're part of this crowd.
I almost was. I got invited
Yeah.
to. I think I was announcing a game during that time where I would have been in there. I would have been part of the
Oh,
toboggan
that's
team.
great. That's great.
So, Coach, you mentioned Walpole, Bishop Fenwick, and St. Mary's. Who other opponents do you guys want to play against in the future?
So this year, last year we only played within the CCL. So we just had the 11 games. This year we have 23, I think. And so, the coaching staff and myself decided that what we want to do to build this program going forward is to schedule all the toughest opponents that we can. And so we have some really tough out-of-conference games. We opened with Westboro, and they are very tough, and they will most definitely make an appearance in the tournament, in my opinion. So we took on Barnstable last week, which was a good learning experience for us as well. But it's just a nice measuring stick, and I really think that it's tough to go through the CCL and not see some of those out-of-league teams that you could definitely potentially see in the playoffs. So that's what we're hoping to do, is use it as a measuring stick.
Yeah, Coach, I honestly didn't think about how when you play inside only your division, that when the playoffs come, you would have not seen those teams the entire season, won't be on a game plan as much as you would during a normal season. That probably was really hard to deal with last year, but it's so much easier this year that that's not the case.
Right. And so I think, like I said, with our team being pretty young, I think right out the gate, seeing a really tough Westboro team, that was a learning experience. I'm glad that we did it, and now we're 3 out of conference games so far, and we're starting to realize that we can play. we can play with these teams, but we can also see the goal and the end game in sight where we need to get to, and we're not there yet.
Yeah, no, I think the 3-3 start is definitely a good way to build off of it because it really restarts your season basically at 0-0. So now you guys can just keep winning and start building morale throughout the team. It'll be a great learning experience for sure.
Yeah, we should have you come talk to the team. That's great.
Would you be willing to do that, Joe?
Yeah, no doubt. Coach Bruschi, I'm going to need to get some interviews for you guys soon. I did the field hockey team yesterday. I got to get the volleyball team soon.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
that's
awesome. That's awesome. We'd love to have you and the girls come in studio.
Oh my gosh, how fun. They would love
That
it.
would be
Yeah.
awesome. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Hopefully we can arrange that soon.
Yeah. Oh,
I'd
well,
love to have them
they
in
are
studio.
They're not shy.
And so, Coach, how do you get them ready for a game?
Like I said, with a young team like this, it's about managing expectations and worrying about the process. We talk a lot about taking care of what we can control.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's out of our control, we don't focus on. And then whenever we go into a game, I have 1 or 2 keys for us, and that's what we try and focus on throughout the game. If we do these 2 or 3 things well, we'll be in good shape. But we can't worry about the score. We can't worry about the
Right.
outcome. Yeah, especially with a young team, it's far more about the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, preaching about learning experiences more than just the numbers and the wins is definitely the way to go with a young team. So you got to get that instilled in them early.
Yeah.
So, Coach, I actually had a question for you because you used to only be a parent at Bishop Fien, but I learned you're also an assistant coach, to be honest. I had not planned that before this question, but going from the changes from an assistant coach and a parent originally, were there any unexpected changes from an outside view of the school to like a more complex look into the inner workings of Fien as a head coach?
Well, yeah, there were a few rules that I wasn't aware of, and there was some unwritten rules that I needed to get on board with. And then the wonderful thing is that the faculty and the staff, like the athletic director Christian Schatz, he and I have a great relationship. Of course, President Sullivan and Principal Kane, I think the world of all of them, and so it made it very easy to embrace their quote-unquote rules and the way that they want things to run.
Yeah, I think a big thing about Bishop Fien is their whole staff kind of treats it like they're a big family, which makes it a lot easier to get welcome into it.
Yeah, everybody has been very welcoming and supportive, and every time you turn around, somebody's there to assist. So.
Yeah, so Coach Bruschi, I know you said that you could probably only stay on for about 30 minutes. So before we go to our next break, would you like to make any shout-outs before or anything, just for your teammates or your coaches or any of your players or anything like that?
Well, I will say this. We have close to 5 coaches in our gym at all times.
Wow.
And who are they?
People that come in. Yeah, so Terry Reed is the JV coach this year and a wonderful friend of mine. And this year, we have to our staff Amanda Woodman as the freshman coach. And last year, we had a former Fien alum, Natalie Reed, who happens to be Terry's daughter,
Wow.
assisting.
Oh,
And
goodness.
then a close personal friend, Nancy Crew, who would come in and assist us at all times. So at any given time, we have 5 coaches in the gym with collegiate playing experience. And that is so valuable.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, that's
I
insane.
can't tell you how good that is for these young kids to be around.
Yeah, Coach, I honestly had no clue that there was that much collegiate experience in just one gym. That's really awesome. That's such a good coaching staff.
Yeah, it's kind of unheard of in high school. And so I just really feel like we're trying to give these kids the best coaching that we possibly can.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome, Coach. It's really nice to see that you just have such a strong staff to support you, too. It probably made your transition back
Yeah.
into school a lot easier.
Definitely. And then as far as my team goes, I told you I love this group of girls. We have young sophomores who are already in a contributing role. We have Olivia Olson. This is a great story. One of our senior middle blocker captains. She's new to the sport. She walked in the gym last year as a junior, never having played, but it's just a testament to her work ethic and her athletic ability that she's now a leader of the program.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did not realize that Olivia Olson started playing junior year. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of unheard of. So that was an amazing transition. We've got a young setter, Anna Martin, who's setting, in a varsity role, which she's never been in before. She's only played at the JV level, so she's handled that well. And just sophomores contributing is amazing to me. So like a Regan Gill, a Julia Webster, Gabby Brennan, they're all getting time here and there. I'm proud of every single one of them. It's been fun to watch, and I just think like the sky's the limit going forward. They're just going to get better.
Yeah, Coach, one awesome thing that I think about that is most teams, they'll just be top-heavy with a bunch of seniors in it. So after that year's over, their team gets a lot worse next year. But now you have juniors and sophomores that are going to step up and continue to build on that legacy from this year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a great thing for us and the whole program going forward.
And that's a testament to all the coaches as well, getting them ready to come up into their senior year. I mean, that's great. That is great.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. So Natalie Reed and the job that she did with that freshman team last year, I mean, you can see it that we have 3 sophomores that are able and ready to play on varsity. That's due to the great level of coaching that they got last year.
Yeah, it's really great that they just have a system now, just going to freshman to JV to varsity, and all the coaches are just amazing. That's really nice to see.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, Coach Bruce, this was an amazing interview. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, we'd love to get you back in studio, live in person, along with the captains. That would be something.
I love that.
So maybe we can set that up, hopefully next month, maybe?
Yeah, we'll stay in touch, and like I said, I'm sure that the girls would love to talk about this team. They care very deeply about it, and it shows. They play with passion.
Excellent.
Well,
excellent.
yeah. Since you said they aren't shy, I'm sure they would love to brag about it.
That's right.
Well, we would love to highlight them, and you.
Thank you so much.
Sure, and thank you again for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
Guys, enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, you too.
You as well.
Okay, we will be back after this break. That was Heidi Bruschi, the Bishop Fian volleyball coach. She did an amazing job, and this was a great interview. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to 4D Sports Talk. We just finished up our interview with the Bishop Fian volleyball coach, Heidi Bruschi. It was an amazing interview, gave some very insightful questions. And now we are going to move on to the score section of the show, where we will be listing a few scores from this week. Justin, the sports master, would you like to start?
Yeah, but I need my music.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
All right. So here we go. In football in the Bay State Division, Middleton 37, Holliston 13, Weymouth 23, Hingham 10. Braintree versus Framingham has been postponed. Wesley 24, Walpole 10, and the now we're moving on to field hockey in the Bay State Division. Cohasset 1, Needham 0, Wesley 3, Braintree 2, Walpole 3, Norwood 0, Newton North 6, Waltham 0. In Cape Islands Division, Sandwich 2, Dennis Yarmouth 0, Monomoy 2, Nauset 0. And back to football in the Bay State Division, Middleton 37, Holliston 13, Weymouth 23, Hingham 10. Braintree versus Framingham has been postponed. Wesley 24, Walpole 10, and in Hawkmock in field hockey, Westwood 4, King Philip 0.
There you go, Justin. I will move on now to some football scores from this week. On Thursday, West Bridgewater shut out Bourne by a score of 49-0. Moving on, Milford defeated Natick and Nailbiter, ending in 28-27. After that, Rockland defeated Whitman Hanson by a score of 23-7. Continuing on, Abington defeated North Quincy by a score of 27-21. Then Hanover had a big victory over Dighton Rehoboth, with the final score being 47-13. Following that, Barnstable defeated Bridgewater Raynham by a score of 36-15. Mansfield defeated Stoughton by 42-14. And Taunton had a big win over Middleborough, 28-8. Continuing on, Foxborough had a monster game, scoring 51 points and defeating Plymouth South, who scored 14 in that game.
Wow.
Yeah, that is actually insanely high. 51 points. That's really impressive. But yeah, continuing on, Franklin defeated Duxbury by 27-14. Scituate shut out Malden Catholic by a score of 35-0. Durfee defeated Somerset Berkeley by a score of 34-14. Westwood defeated Quincy by a score of 41-27. Dartmouth defeated Old Rochester by a score of 24-7. Continuing on, Sandwich defeated Falmouth by a score of 35-14. Weymouth defeated Hingham by a score of 23-10. Cohasset shut out Norwell by a score of 28-0. The Cardinal Spellmans fell to Bishop Stang by a score of 14-6. Zvarian had a big victory over Brockton, with the final score being 42-6. Bellingham defeated Medford 20-14. Archbishop Williams defeated Arlington Catholic by a score of 38-14. Carver had a massive win over St. John Paul by a score of 38-6. Seekonk defeated Case. Actually, no, Seekonk fell to Case by a score of 26-21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. That's actually a pretty close game. But yeah, no, then moving on, Hull had a big victory over Tri-County 28-6. Dover Sherborne had a massive shutout over Sharon, 42-0 being the final score. And as I'm saying that, the next score, Old Colony, had an even bigger shutout against Wareham, 46-0.
Oh, geez.
Almost 50 unchallenged points. That's crazy.
The highest score that I've ever heard of in a football game.
Yeah. Then Silver Lake defeated Norwood by a score of 20-7. And for our final score, Fairhaven fell to Greater New Bedford by a score of 13-10. That's all of our scores so far by me and Justin, the Sportsmaster.
Great job, guys. Great job. Hey, that interview. Oh, bless you. It's like KC is having an allergy attacks here.
You're all good, Casey.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, that was a great interview for sure.
Yeah, it was. I'd really love to get him in studio.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if we can actually get them and the players in studio. That'd be really cool. It'd be the first time in a bit that we've gotten players in here, right?
I know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's been so long, I can't remember the last time.
Yeah, it feels like ages. Like there are some places that I haven't been to like so long since the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I'd love to get some kids here in studio. So, guys, I'm sorry I'm late.
No, it's all good. It happens.
I was at another fundraiser over in Tiverton, near Newport, for a little girl who was my niece's best friend growing up. So every year they have this fundraiser for her, and it's the Megan Cadiro Foundation. And so a shout out to everybody over there. A lot of my friends are there supporting. They have a 5K and a walk going on, a big cookout, and it's going to probably wrap up in a couple of hours, but a lot of support over there. So a shout out to the Megan Foundation. She passed away of cancer when she was, I want to say, how old was she? 10, 11? Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually known a few kids who have gotten help from the Megan Foundation, I'm pretty sure. I've heard of that
Really?
before. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I did not know you had a personal
huge.
relationship with that.
Oh, yeah, my niece.
Yeah, nice.
And her grew up together.
Yeah, it's always awesome to see a community coming together and just fundraising, walking 5Ks, doing whatever they can to bring attention to the issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so trying to think. We still have 20 minutes left in our show. What do you guys think we should talk about next?
So, aside from getting people in the show, actually, I'm sorry, but I'm a little late in my posts. And so I have some great pictures from last Saturday.
Nice.
We celebrated Casey's birthday.
Yeah, it was a big day.
Yeah.
I actually realized something we can talk about. Dominic right now is coaching his nephew's
Right?
football team.
Right, he's on assignment. That's a big assignment.
Yeah, flag football. I believe he said it was like kindergarten to first grade, something like that.
Something like that.
That's what he was trying to apply when he was talking about it last Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually playing. I'm actually playing flag football too.
You are,
Special-
Casey?
You are?
Yep, for
Wow.
Special Olympics.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
First time in a year.
Wow.
Nice, Casey.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And so where is that?
I'm actually playing for the Hockomock YMCA.
Good for
Nice,
you.
yeah.
That's exciting.
Casey, I need to see you moss someone, catch it over their head or something during a game. That'll be sick.
Yeah, I can also throw too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You gotta be the quarterback?
Love it.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good, Casey.
Love it. So did you have practices already started?
Yeah. Yeah, I already had practices.
They decide your position yet, Casey, or not?
You know what? I actually don't know.
You're all good. They'll figure it out soon.
Yeah, the other team that I was on before, we usually like swap positions like each time.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, that's exciting.
Be pretty funny if we got to see Dom coaching you one day.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine what Dom's doing.
Yeah, well, we actually have a break coming up right now, so
Excellent.
we'll transition into that, and we will be back for our fourth and final segment of the show.
Sounds good.
That's.
And so, name who's in studio.
Huh.
Okay.
Welcome back to 4D Sports Talk on 1320 WARA. We had the volleyball coach from Bishop Fee, Heidi Bruschi, on earlier for a very good interview. Then we just read some scores, and now we have a little bit of free form for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah,
During the
sounds
break,
good.
Casey was bringing up to me that she actually knows and has a connection to the head coach, Brian Flores, through his brothers.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to elaborate on that, Casey?
Yeah, as you know, Brian Flores, he used to be the defensive coach for the Patriots, and he now head coaches the Miami Dolphins. And I knew his brother named Chris. I want to say, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years, maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've known them for a while.
Yeah, so what was your relationship with his brother Chris?
Yeah, we were good friends. Like,
Yeah, was he
he's
one
a-
of your coaches?
No, he's actually a player.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so you were telling us that you are now involved in flag football.
Yes, Special Olympics. I've been involved in that for most of my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. And so you've started playing, and
I want to say probably like 8 or 9 years old.
Really?
I got involved in Special Olympics.
okay. And so is Brian Flores a part of that? I thought you said there was a connection there, or his brother?
Well, a couple of his brothers like helps out coaching the YMCA team.
Okay, so the YMCA team, which one? Hockomock, you
Hockomock.
said? Excellent. Well, she has another asthma attack here.
I'm very sorry, everyone, that you had to see that. I'm so embarrassed.
It's okay.
No, you're all good, Casey. There's no worries.
It's all good. That's what I love about freeform here, you know? Anything goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, Justin, what's going on? What are you doing in your free time?
Not much. What I'm currently preparing for. We're rehearsing for our final theater production in college, which is going to happen soon in October. So
Wait.
You do theater, Justin?
yeah, I do.
You've never mentioned
All right,
that once.
so
That's
who
awesome.
knew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew?
The man of many talents.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about
That's
this.
sick,
You're going to BCC.
Yeah, and we've been there for an extra year because of COVID. We were
Right.
supposed to graduate in 2020, so that's going to be on this upcoming Saturday. But no, not this upcoming Saturday. I got my date wrong. It's October 16th, and the downside is though we're going to have to wear masks when we're performing.
Oh,
Really?
but that's
Dang.
okay because
Well,
performances
Well,
all
safety
over the
thing.
Well, that's
all
kind
over the world are
that's
wearing masks.
that's kind of an issue though because for one of the scenes I'm supposed to wear sunglasses, so as I'm breathing, it's
yeah.
gonna fog up.
No,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
So my husband just started working for a company called Blount, and they make the famous chowder in Rhode Island, and he says because of the hot and cold temperatures, he wears glasses also. So here's a trick to that: take any type of white soap, okay, and rub it on your glasses, and they won't fog up.
Really?
That actually
Yeah.
true, Lucy? I've never
That's
heard that
true.
before. That's cool. Yeah,
That is
nice.
true. So he has started doing that, and in extreme temperatures, like
Yeah.
hot to cold or cold to hot or whatever, try that.
Yeah, no,
See
try
if
for
it works
sure,
for ya.
Justin. That's awesome.
I'd have to look
'Cause
into
they
that.
have to wear the full PPE,
Yeah.
lab coats and gloves, and yeah.
And you know
Try it.
my coworker told me. She actually told me, like when you wear a surgical mask, like there's like a metal part like around your nose. You just
Squeeze it in.
squeeze
Yeah.
it in, like it'll help get rid of the fog.
Well, there you go.
I don't know if it'll work on sunglasses, but I know they've worked on these before.
So
Nice.
tell us more about this play you're in.
Yeah, Justin, I gotta know what role you got, man. That's
Yeah.
Well, I have multiple. We're doing like multiple stuff. So what we rehearsed last night is doing a scene from Alice in Wonderland. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice. So who are you gonna play in the Alice in Wonderland one?
I'm the March Hare. So
Yeah.
I'm a rabbit.
Wow,
Let's
very
go,
cool.
Justin. That's sick.
That's very sick.
Wow.
And so this is the week of October 16th?
Yeah, so
the actual play is going to be.
So yeah, and that's going to be our graduation ceremony. So too. So I'm not. So I'm probably most likely I'm not going to be able to be here for the show that Saturday.
That's okay. This is good to know.
Yeah.
This is good to know because as part of Fall River Community Media, which is right next to the theater there, I know Sean very, very well, who runs the audio and the lights and for the theater. And so who is the instructor now over at the college for theater?
It's a guy named Jeff.
Jeff. You know his last name?
Blanchett.
Jeff Blanchett. Okay. Because they're usually recorded. And yours truly here usually does a recording, or somebody from my group.
Yeah, Lucy, is Justin going to look in the crowd and see you watching?
I don't know. Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
We
yeah.
have remote cameras there. Of course, there's a lot happening in the theater in the upcoming month. So I know that the college is going to be opening to the public. And so I know the Fall River Symphony is holding a concert there in October. I think it's the end of October, probably after the play. Yeah.
Justin, are they letting people come in to watch the crowd, like join the crowd, or is it only people
or
go
is
to
it
school?
a virtual?
We are letting people in. It's like we've been told that we can invite like at least only like 10 people. So I think like the maximum amount of people that can be in the room at the time is like somewhere up to 80.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's
Justin.
about
Nice.
right.
Yeah.
They're probably. I'm sure they have mandates.
Justin, you're gonna look in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I have to, because it's like we haven't been there. I need to like refresh myself where everything is, because we've been going to like a building for like over half a year, so I don't know where everything is again.
Right. Well, actually, it is pretty easy because as soon as you turn into the entrance, you just go straight down towards the end before you make that left curve. The auditorium, the theater stuff is on your left. It's a last building there.
Yeah, Justin, I'm going to need to find a way to get in that crowd so I can have Justin just written across my chest.
Absolutely. We're going to hold up the signs,
Yeah, just Sportsmaster. I'll be yelling over the whole time.
Love it. So
That's
that's
awesome,
October
though,
16th?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for you.
I don't
You're gonna be
know.
playing the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I don't know the time details yet. I'm gonna learn that this upcoming Friday.
Excellent. So next week's show, you're going to have to spill the beans here and let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Good for you.
Yeah, Justin, you really are a Renaissance man. Acting, sports,
Right?
interviewing, just everything. That's sick, Justin.
Right?
So
That's great.
Yeah,
so
that's really cool to see.
next Saturday is October 3rd, right? Or
Yes, we
yeah,
are
'cause-
into October.
Yeah, because the Wednesday of this upcoming week, that's the last day of September.
Oh,
Okay.
never mind. Next Saturday is October 2nd. October 3rd on a Sunday, I have the first flag football tournament.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, Casey. That's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday.
Winter
Nice.
sports already.
Yeah.
Wow, Justin. So are you taking any courses also at the same time?
Well, we just had our last day was I think it was the 13th of last month.
Yep.
So now all we're doing right now is we're doing virtual meetings to just do our final preparing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Excellent.
nice, Justin.
And another tactic I have to do is I have to look at the script every night, and that be the last thing I do literally before I go to bed.
Is that your way to
Just look at
memorize
the
it,
script?
Justin?
It was we were specifically told that's have it. We got to get into doing.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Well, sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Justin,
you'll
do you have a
do
lot
well.
of lines? Because that's a pretty good character that you got. You got the Robbie, you said.
I
Right?
actually don't have much for that scene, believe it or not.
Really?
I only have like 4, I think.
4 is a pretty good amount, Justin. That's going to be cool that you're going to be speaking on stage, at least. There are a lot of people who probably have just no credit at lines, honestly. So that's good. That's really good.
Good for you.
Yeah, you never even mentioned that you did theater, Justin. I've been here for, I think it's almost 3 months now, and you have not said a word about it.
Well, I've done it every time because that was the thing. Because it was the classes that we do, and that's what we do. Typically, the last day of the semester, that's when we perform.
Yeah, that's so cool, Justin. I wish I knew that before. That's really sick. I'm happy you told us about that.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to exploit that when it gets closer to the date. You know that.
We got an actor in here, and we have a star athlete right now. It's going pretty good. This is a
you
pretty
got the
cool interview.
paparazzi here also.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so how I got into this was I used to video record all the BCC basketball games. And so before all their games, I would sing the national anthem, which was quite an honor because, I knew the athletic director over at BCC. And so that's how I got into recording their soccer games, their basketball games, singing the national anthem before the games. And so it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you, it's quite the experience.
Yeah, Lucy, I never realized you had that involvement with BCC. You're basically like their whole media team. That's really cool.
Well, funny thing was, I was a musician before I got into doing this.
Yeah, what instrument do you play, Lucy?
Piano.
You play piano?
Yeah.
You guys have never mentioned any of this stuff to me. I feel like I've been getting left in the dark. Wow. That's cool, though, Lucy. Nice.
Yeah, out of Tiverton High School, I went to Berklee College of Music for piano and voice. And over the summer, to get money to go back up to Berkeley, we had a family business running the Fall River Country Club kitchen. My dad was a chef.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, and as a family, we, ran the kitchen for, I want to say 5 or 6 years. And in between all that time, I was out playing in different bands and whatnot.
Wow.
In southern New England. And then I landed a part-time job as a typesetter for a company called Princess House.
Nice.
Whoa.
And that's when I got into desktop publishing and graphic arts and became an art director over there into camera work. So photography, all of that. And became designing their catalogs and brochures, and they sent me all around the world, actually, photographing their consultants. And I did that for 30 years.
Lucy,
Wow.
when you say they sent you around the world, what do you mean by that? That sounds really cool.
Well, I had a photo crew.
Yeah, where would they send you?
And all their consultants, their independent consultants that sell Princess House, are all over the world.
That's so
and
cool.
And they're in this country. And so I used to feature their consultants, English, Spanish, Canadian English, up in Canada, in the catalogs. And
That's
so
cool,
they would
Lucy.
send me over there to, and could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So I've been basically all over the place.
Yeah, that's
I
sick.
bring a camera crew with me, and we do massive photo shoots in their house. And most of them were in California. They're very big in California.
Nice.
Yeah. And so we'd come back and we'd put the catalogs together, and they'd put out a catalog every 2 or 3 times a year. So I was traveling quite a bit. While at home, my kids were, young, growing up. My husband would take good care of them. Yeah. So every time I traveled, I was like, oh, man, I got to travel again. And so I'd miss a lot of, they were into skateboarding and basketball and, not really football.
Yeah.
But baseball.
Nice. Yeah,
And
that's
so
really
during
cool.
Little League, again, when I was home, I would go down to the field, sing the national anthem, call the kids up to the plate. I loved it. Absolutely
awesome.
loved it. And so did a lot of fundraising, for them. And as they got older, of course, they got into skateboarding. And right now, my oldest son, he is 33.
Nice.
And he's over in California. He's working for Volcom.
That's awesome.
Yep,
That's really cool.
He runs
Lucy.
their website, and he takes pictures and video, basically what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it's a mini you. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And my other one is he just got married 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Living in Warwick, they have a house. He runs the infrastructure over at Horizon Beverages. So he's their big help desk, IT guy.
Nice,
yeah, and so thank goodness. Because, when I got back into this, I went to BCC for 1 year and got my communications degree over there and I had my own radio show over there. Learned a lot through television. You see the studio and you're like, man, I want to do that. Yeah. And so that's how I got into producing shows. I came in and interned here. Been here ever since. I was like, 6 years ago?
Nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy being able to see the journey.
That's my story.
Like that.
It's crazy, but I love it. Absolutely love it. And I especially love this show because, we bring on all kinds of people in all different sports. And we highlight their accomplishments, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. The more you can get out into the field doing this, with radio, with camera work, whatever, you just meet the best people. Yeah. It's just really like you, Joe. I mean, you're out there, you're in the crowd, you're interviewing. Yeah. You guys have done it as well, especially camera. I mean, there's just so many great people.
Yeah, connecting to new people has to be the craziest thing about doing all that. You meet so many different people.
Yeah, and I produce, a bunch of shows for like 8 different cable access television
Do you
stations.
actually, Lucy? You didn't mention that.
Fall
That's
River
cool.
is my main hubs, and so I work with Seekonk, Somerset, Swansea. Of course, all the campuses in and around, Bristol Community College. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a lot of fun.
So during the last 15 minutes, we learned a little bit more about Lucy, Casey,
about
and
each
Justin.
other, right?
Yeah.
The beans have been spilled.
So you're next. You're next.
Yeah.
I'll reveal my secrets one day. We'll figure that out. But yeah, no, this was a great show. We interviewed the Bishop Fee varsity volleyball coach, Heidi Bruschi, for a great interview. That 30 minutes of freeform. Learned a little bit about everyone. This has been 4D Sports Talk. I'm Joe Dez. That's KC, Catherine Conley, Lucy Cabral, Justin Ferrer, the Sportsmaster. This has been 4D Sports Talk on WARA 1320 AM radio. Thank you for tuning in.